making so much noise out here.
If you make a noise now, we'll really be able to hear you.
We find ourselves returning to the small riverside town of Denton, Maryland, to continue uncovering the haunting secrets of its past, with tonight's investigation covering the town's Museum of Rural Life. This two-story facility offers visitors a glimpse into the past of what it was like to live in rural eastern Maryland over the last 2 centuries, including Maryland's rather integral role in supplying the war efforts of World War I and World War II. It features dozens of unique memorabilia from a bygone era and highlights the strengths and struggles of the residents of this Choptank River town. Deeper within the museum, you'll also find preserved sections of historic Maryland homes that have been transplanted and rebuilt within the museum itself in order to preserve them, including Painter's Range, a 1-bedroom log cabin that is believed to have been built sometime around 1828. These small dwellings were so common in the 18th century that they housed roughly 85% of the residents of southern Delaware and lower parts of the eastern shore. This dwelling in particular had been meticulously deconstructed and pieced back together within the Museum of Rural Life to showcase what it was like to live as a farmer towards the end of the 18th century. More exhibits include Chance's Desire, a plantation home that was established in 1787, a portion of Skillington's Right, another plantation home that was established in 1795 and belonged to the Fraser family, and the Taylor Brown House, a fascinating endeavor achieved by the Historical Society. This home has been transplanted twice by mule cart since it was originally built in 1819 and was one of the few homes that survived the fire that destroyed most of Denton on July 4, 1865, when balls of candlewick and kerosene were launched into the air as sort of makeshift fireworks to celebrate at a Civil War reconciliation picnic. Among these unique displays are also original World War I and World War II artifacts, including authentic German soldier gear that would have been used during the war, and an original MP-40 submachine gun, which I personally found to be incredibly fascinating, considering how rare this particular weapon is. Other pieces include a German soldier's helmet, utility belt, binoculars, and more, all of which were seized by Captain Quentin R. Walsh, a decorated Coast Guard captain who is known to be one of the most famous combat veterans of World War II. Captain Walsh is responsible for leading the 53-man Special Forces unit that successfully captured Fort Déume and its garrison of nearly 750 German soldiers while simultaneously liberating 52 captured U.S. paratroopers. His efforts brought down the last inner fortress of the Third Reich, ultimately pushing the U.S. closer to victory than ever before and ending the war. Captain Walsh is a legend and a hero, and his legacy continues to live on inside the Museum of Rural Life for visitors to get an in-depth look into his efforts as a combat veteran. With centuries of history brought in from around Maryland and even other parts of the world, it didn't surprise us to learn that this location could potentially have spirits or energy still lingering within. From entire homes to pieces of war artifacts all present in one space, it would make sense there is someone or something here, especially if they had significant connections to anything that is currently stored within. Tonight, we spend an evening inside the Museum of Rural Life to gather a better understanding of what exactly is happening here, and if the claims staff have made are true. They're making so much noise out here. As I say something about it. Come over here and listen. Can you do that again, please? Thank you. Did you hear a whistle just now?
Yeah. It's like the knockdown whistle.
Yeah. Whoa. The whole time that we've been in here, up until now, not a sound.
Yeah. I wonder if turning all those lights off.
Because as soon as we started shutting stuff down, it got very busy in here.
Yeah.
Sorry that we haven't got a chance to introduce ourselves yet. My name is Mike.
I'm David.
We're going to be spending the night with you. If that's okay with you, could you make another one of those sounds? Did you knock or tap on something?
You that just went off? It sounded like a cup falling over.
That was 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
It did sound like a
Like
cup.
like a cup, like
The
bang.
styrofoam cup.
Yeah. There's all the stacks of cups back there.
Yeah. We're really looking forward to having the chance to talk to you tonight.
We're going to be asking a lot of questions about you, about the history of the town, about this building. Yeah.
They're making so much noise over there.
Whoever's out there making all that noise, can you come in here in this room? Set out lots of different devices and stuff for you to use. They won't hurt you at all. They're just going to help us communicate better with you. You can use them as a way of saying yes.
K2 spiked, and then something knocked in there.
I heard that.
Oh, I just felt the weirdest sensation in my leg. That was weird. It felt like a cold pinprick.
Yeah?
Yeah, like something poked into my leg. It didn't hurt, but then it was ice cold afterwards.
That's weird.
Yeah. I think that was the unit shutting off. Man, now it's really quiet.
If you make a noise now, we'll really be able to hear you.
It sounded like a door shut.
I was going to say, well, I wonder if that was a door shut outside and then the knock here. A lot of noise coming from back there.
Yeah. Do you mind coming in here and talking to us for a little bit? There's a lot of interesting artifacts in this room. Do you know anything about them? K2.
Yeah.
How about this? You seem to like communicating with us through knocks. Could you do 1 knock for yes and 2 knocks for no? Could you knock once if you understand me? Thank you. Do you know anything about the artifacts in this room? one.
Yep, I heard one. Are you connected with one of the artifacts? Just one. Is it a World War I artifact?
It's two.
Two, the second one.
Does that imply that you're here because of that piece of equipment and that alone? Are you really that significantly connected to it to where you feel the need to be here? So you're saying that it has a lot of sentimental value. So you're saying that it has a lot of sentimental value. So you're saying that it has a lot of sentimental value.
Is it in the World War II room?
That was in the hallway again.
Was
It was right on that side of the wall. Yeah,
That's
the
the World
first
War
time
II
it
room.
happened, it was right there.
That's the World War II room.
It is.
And the contagious it.
Is this the first time anybody's ever come in here and tried to talk to you like this? Heard one little quiet one.
Yeah, I heard it too. We have a lot of questions. Now we're hoping you can answer as many as possible. And if there's anything at any point that you want to say or a message to get out to anyone, please feel free to let us know.
Would you like us to come back there and talk to you instead? Cool. And real quick, if you wouldn't mind just satisfying my curiosity, because we haven't heard the building settle all night that we've been here. We've been here since 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's now currently past 10. Past 10. Past 10. If that is you, make it.
That.
What?
It was like,
No. How about one loud one, like the one you did against this wall? Nice. Thank you.
thank you so much.
When we first arrived on site and began setting up our equipment, we weren't really picking up a whole lot, if anything at all. We had spent most of the afternoon shooting B-roll and getting a feel for the place while we planned out each shot, and there really wasn't a lot of activity. We weren't seeing much or hearing much until the sun began to set. As we're getting set up for our first shot in the World War I room, we're turning off all the lights, and out of nowhere these loud knocks and bangs just start happening all around us. Since we weren't getting a lot of device responses, I tried to let them know that they could communicate with us through the knocks that they were making. We got a few straightforward answers here and there, but nothing that really narrowed down who we were speaking to or anything that gave us any sort of definitive answers to why they were there. Shortly after this, things got kind of quiet, so we packed up, we headed over to where we were hearing the knocks deeper within the museum to see if we could get more activity over there.
was a weird vibration sound.
I heard that. I thought it was outside.
Sounded like it was like... Where did she say this door goes to? These double doors?
I think that goes outside, out back.
No.
It's not me.
Yeah, definitely not you. Thank you if that was you making that go off.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
The closer you get to that device, it'll light up different colors. It'll go green, yellow, blue, purple. Could you get a little closer and make it go off again to your favorite color of those?
I also have another device here in my hand. You can come up to it and put some energy into it, and it'll say various words. There are a ton of words programmed into this. If you can figure out how to use this, you can tell us whatever you like. Now it's switched. The whole time we were in there, it was over here.
Yep.
Could you please come up to this device and try and tell us your name? Or tell us something about yourself that can help describe you?
Can you tell us what your favorite part of the museum is?
Guess what name we got?
What name?
Just take a wild guess. It's been a common name every investigation for the last 3 investigations.
Ed.
Nailed it.
Handcuffs.
Yeah.
There's that set of handcuffs right up there.
Are you the same Ed that we've been talking to almost every time we come to town? If you are, could you touch one of the lights that we've laid out for you? Or maybe come up and touch this red light. Make it go off again.
Jeez.
That was up here. It sounded like it was on the window.
Yeah, it did. Really weird.
Yeah.
I was right above us.
Right there. Has the Ovilus said anything other than when you set it up?
Nope. Yeah. Yeah, moss.
Ed, this device said handcuffs and failure. Are you, or were you incarcerated at one point?
Ed, are you down near the handcuffs in that room down there? If so, can you come a little bit closer? And
The cat ball's going off.
I think the EMF just went off next to it too.
And if that was you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We really appreciate it. And if it's not you, still thank you. Whoever's coming forward and communicating with us through our devices, we really appreciate it. That's what we're here for. We're glad that you're starting to get warmed up to us.
Can you come through that device and tell us what or how you're connected to this building in any way, whether it's an artifact or...
Said no.
Said no.
Yeah. Elaine? I don't know if that's a name.
Elaine.
No and highwaymen.
Okay.
So they're not connected here. Maybe they were just living
Part
on
of
the
the
land
town.
at some point.
There is a box full of artifacts upstairs. Are those maybe from your land? Maybe from this land before this building was here?
Maybe it was before this town was even built. It was 2.
Yeah.
It was like 1, 2. Okay. So you've been here recently in the last, I don't know, 100 years, right? It's 1. How come when we were down there you made noise here, and now that we're here you're making noise down there? Why do you keep switching? Speakeasy, consuming, carnivorous. Was there a speakeasy in town at one point? I mean, they had, people made those in secret.
Yeah.
People would host them in their attics and basements and stuff. Cat ball. Oh, I'm getting chills like crazy. So was there like a hidden speakeasy here? Maybe it was built here, got leveled at some point, new building was built, or maybe it was close by in town. I don't know.
Maybe. Can you confirm that? Can you maybe touch that cat ball again? And just let us know if there was a speakeasy in town? That was the same cat ball that went off earlier when we were setting up.
Casework from Leaves Revivals. Not sure what that means.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when we go into these places, we tend to do very light research first, and then we do the investigation, just to see if any of the events that occurred at the investigation coincided with actual historical records. That being said, we really didn't have a direction on where we wanted to go with these questions or what we wanted to ask. Most of it revolved around the actual museum exhibits itself, as well as the surrounding town. As we tried to narrow things down, we started to get some hits on our devices, especially regarding a speakeasy. It was a very common thing to have back in those days. People would hide them in their houses and basements and attics, and even build secret rooms attached to their homes that just looked like additions. But again, we really couldn't narrow down who we were speaking to or why they were even there in the first place. Just based on experiences I've had in the past with this stuff, a lot of this seemed very residual, so it didn't feel like we were speaking to an intelligent entity. And if we were, they were very selective on how they chose to answer us. This museum is only open on the weekends, and it is certainly not open to the public this late into the night, so they probably didn't expect us to be there. They also had no idea who we were or why we were there, so I could see why they would be a little reluctant to want to talk to us. Still, I wanted to try and meet them on their level, so we turned off all the lights, we switched over to infrared mode, and tried to make the environment as comfortable as possible for them. Is this more comfortable for you? Could you go over and touch that red light? I just saw a glare off the picture in that room. Like a light glare, but there's no windows in this building.
Yeah. Percent.
Could you touch one of these lights for us? Any one of them will do. We'll be able to see them for sure. Now that it's dark.
I know we've already said it once, but we just want to make sure that you know that none of this equipment will hurt you. It's the same equipment we've been using the whole night that you've already been interacting with. It's just going to help us communicate better with you, tell your story better, or anything else that you're trying to communicate.
So like 2, and then it said no. Huh. Yeah. That's crazy. It did 2 knocks and then no on the envoy. Did something change in between setting up our equipment? Did you change your mind?
The buildings and other pieces in here have different names. Can you say one of the names across one of our devices? I feel like I said, just saw someone come out of the World War I room.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it came out and turned that way.
Yeah. Pushed indeed midwife in the number 20. That number 20 there, is that how old you are? Is that how many people are here?
We're hearing a lot of knocking and stuff over on that side of the building now that we moved over here. There's a light on the ramp that walks down this way. If you are over there, can you go touch that red light?
I feel like something was like pushing down on my head just now.
Like on the beanie or on, like made it all the way down to your head?
Made it all the way down to my head.
That's weird.
Did you touch me just now? Where'd you go? I thought you liked all the lights being off. Said neglected in France. It's a World War I, World War II museum. It's wild. Are we speaking to a soldier? If we are, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
What you did wasn't easy. I know it's a hard thing to talk about, but if you're willing to come forward and share some stories with us, we'd really appreciate it. It said, yourselves pro and jailed.
You had said France on there. Did you maybe invade France? Is that what you're saying?
It's so hard to narrow down who we're talking to. It could be a
Yeah.
soldier, could be a US soldier, could be the German soldier who had his stuff confiscated from him, could be a French soldier, could be an indentured servant, could be somebody who died in the house, one of these houses. Criticized, arrest, compromised, benefactor, lash. Are you afraid that if you speak with us, you'll get in trouble? We're not going to say anything to anyone if that's what you're worried about. I'm pretty sure you won't get in trouble here. Despite doing everything that we could to try and make them as comfortable as possible, we didn't really capture a whole lot in the infrared mode. But I kept this portion in anyways because I noticed something going on behind us that caught my eye. In almost every instance where an anomaly is caught on camera with infrared, it's dust, or some kind of lint, or it could be very easily explained. Dust, lint, and pet hair can all reflect infrared light, which is reflected back at the camera, and then it appears as if it's an anomaly. But it's always one of the three, or something else. It's very, very rare to actually capture an anomaly on camera. But when I was reviewing this portion of evidence, I noticed that when anomalies would appear on camera in the bottom left corner of the screen, they would often be accompanied by a second or a third or even a fourth anomaly that was traveling in the same direction as the first anomaly, going at the same speed, and all had the exact same movement. There's been a couple of instances where we've caught things on camera that we can't explain, and this feels like another one of those moments, simply based on the movement, the shape, and the consistency of the anomaly that appears on camera. Dust usually has a predetermined path based off of the draft or the central air within the space, and it'll move in the same direction. It very rarely deviates unless somebody walks through the space or creates some kind of current somewhere with an open door. There's a lot of variables that you have to consider when you're reviewing this stuff, and you find what you believe to be orbs, but is actually just dust. Half the time I'm reviewing this footage, I notice that dust is appearing on camera, but then there are other instances where it seems like it could potentially be something else. And the only reason I feel this way is because during this lights out session, I felt a pressure on the top of my head. And when I reviewed this footage, you can clearly see an anomaly float from the far left side of the screen all the way over to my head. It dissipates, and then I say, "Yeah, I feel like something was like pushing down on my head just now." So it's hard to give a definitive answer as to what this could be. Is it dust? Is it lint? Or did we capture something on camera?
And right now, he's in the room hearing not what you play, what he hunts.
What are you talking about? Could you elaborate?
Doctor.
Is this Dr. Knotts?
Go to the school.
What school?
What the is this?
That's a radio. It's a modified radio. If you speak into it and put energy into it, David can hear you. And David can talk to me, tell me what you're saying. Hi, Stuart.
So how are you?
I don't remember speaking to a Stuart, but it's nice to meet you. I'm doing okay.
Good.
How are you?
We are doing well.
That's good. It's good to hear. What brings you to this place?
My name is John. I can be a friend, but there's evil out there. The evil.
I'm okay. I'm okay, John. I have all the friends that I need, but I appreciate it.
Noise.
Are you the one making all the noise out there?
David needs to go outside.
Why?
It's bothering you. My name is John.
Hi again, John.
I'm working on telling everyone.
Okay. Well, take your time.
Don't be afraid of Michael. He never did. Never. Anything.
I just heard like a deep sigh or like
wouldn't
a groan out there.
You. Ever.
No, you're absolutely right. I would never hurt you.
The problem is the other guy.
David?
He's dying.
What are you talking about?
Can you imagine?
I don't want to imagine.
Jacob? Inside
Hello again, Jacob.
the cabin. He told us. He's right out there. His name is Steven. What is going on?
We're just trying to make sense of what you're telling us. Trying to have a conversation,
Michael?
but it seems like a lot of information is coming through. How can I help you?
I feel dead.
I'm sorry.
Sort of.
What's the
But I
last
don't
thing?
like it.
What's the last thing that you remember?
Here I am. Watching you. From above. We're crazy.
Oh.
You'll remember soon when you're not around.
Okay, well, I need to make it very clear to everyone that's here that when I leave,
He's hurting me.
you're not allowed to come with me or David.
Worse
You have to stay here.
than before. Get out. Make it hurt.
Why do you want us to get out? You were just welcoming us here. What changed?
Reverse, I think.
Are you reversing your decision?
The years have gone spiritual.
I almost don't even want to say anything. I just kind of want to
Something just touched my leg.
let him talk and see what he gets.
My name's Mark.
Hi, Mark.
You're crazy.
So I've been told.
That's David.
That is David.
Sound like an exhale. He's got to stop, damn it.
Why do you want him to stop? If he stops, you can't talk anymore.
Transfer the sneaky one elsewhere out of here. I don't want him here.
Who? Who is
At
the
all.
sneaky one? What's his name, or what's its name?
You're my hero. That was really crazy how it said that. What's that noise? In the hall? Not very friendly.
You keep mentioning something evil, not friendly, doesn't want us here. Who or what is this?
He's telling you to leave.
Why? Where did he come from? Who is he? What's his name?
I'm telling him to go away. Sadly, he wants put it right through his heart. See if it helps. I reckon it will.
Am I speaking to a soldier?
Who knows?
I don't. That's why I'm asking.
You're the one.
What do you mean?
Spiritual. Michael. It's dark. In our hole, you can see though.
Just said no.
You're a medium. You can reciprocate everything alone.
Sort of knock out there.
And you can see through the dark and answer us.
That's a very astute observation.
Something just shook my chair.
And that's just said yes.
That was me. It was brilliant. I scared him. Something just sounded like a scream. I'm running. It's scary. He's back behind me.
Who is he? You keep saying that there's a he here that doesn't want us here, that he's evil, that he's sneaky, but you won't give us a name.
Really forced?
Can you please try to tell us his name? Really loud noise out there.
He's an officer. Get him.
Was he a military officer?
What the?
Something just shook the whole building.
Dummy. Your lips.
Who's making all this noise
Need
around
to
us?
Stay.
Can you come closer and make a noise outside of the cabin? So we can hear you?
Away. Get out. Get the f*** out. You should have left hours.
What changed?
Ago. Move it along.
Why do you want us to leave so bad?
Stay. This is home.
That's not my home.
Another home.
We're going to get going now. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you for spending some time with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
17 people fought.
Okay. Thank you for your time. We try to use the Estes method as a way to directly contact whatever spirit or energy is in the space and give them a chance to have a direct one-on-one conversation with us. David is incredibly in tune with this, and he is able to decipher messages very clearly in a way that I have never seen anybody else do. And I am able to interpret them in a way that helps carry a conversation. So in most cases, David is the one that goes under, and I'm the one that asks the questions and receives the answers. And just based on our experience with this, we usually get really good results. But again, this just felt like a residual case. It felt like there was a huge mix of different energies from the town itself, from the museum exhibits. We did capture several instances of getting a direct, intelligent response to the questions that we posed to them, but ultimately it felt very residual. It didn't feel like there was anything there intelligently haunting the space in a way that could communicate with us. It seemed like the energy in the space was also split with our presence being there. Some wanted us to stay and talk and help them, and others didn't want us there at all. But regardless, it seemed like we weren't getting as many intelligent responses as we had hoped for. I don't doubt that there is something there. It could potentially be multiple entities, and they just didn't want to talk to us that night. We are strangers in the building, we're there after hours, and they've never experienced someone coming in there and trying to speak to them directly the way that we were, so I could see how that could be off-putting to them. Still, I think we captured some really incredible evidence in this video, and I hope that it answers any questions that the Historical Society may have about their property. I don't know what or who, but it was nice to know that we could go in this place and actually find something to present to them.